Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tashana. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. I hope all is well. We are gonna be phasing through this periodic table. You know you don't have to wait for me to cover it, but we are going through it every now and again. In the middle of a series, the creator will come through with a message that may seem like it's a little bit off topic. You know, right? You guys are aware that this podcast is about spiritual warfare and all things that are related to the unseen, just the overall spirit realm, right? I do research on history as it relates to spirituality and astrology, astronomy, and just geographic location and how it ties in to our genetics, our linguistics, all of that good stuff, right? Of course, religion is going to come up when you are doing a thorough research of history. Now, I know a lot of people are like, what? I'm Muslim. I do still read the Bible most of the times. When I come across something that is in one book, I try to find it in the other. I'm in America, right? I'm in North New Jersey. I haven't really been, I'm a black person, a black female in America. So I haven't really been exposed to too many different religions, other than being Christian and Muslim. Of course, there are several sects. I've been introduced to the Nation of Islam, being the Shiite, being a Sunni. I am a Sunni Muslim. There are several types of Muslims. I grew up in a Christian household. My grandmother was Catholic. A lot of people, for some reason, separate Catholicism from Christianity when they are actually one and the same, but that's another topic. But also being a Jew is a Christian. Mormons are Christian. Jehovah's Witness are Christian, right? So the thing I'm getting at is that we have these practices and these studies, and we don't really necessarily have a good relationship enough, not only with ourselves or the people around us, but we're not just well versed, right, in these different backgrounds or religions, if you will. I was doing a little research and I came across something basically insinuating that Eve was not present when God told Adam to not eat from the tree of knowledge, right? And if you want to refer to the Apocrypha, I mean, there's several different books that go into these stories. I'm sorry, I was texting. It's the book of Genesis. And like I said, there are several different indications that may be pointing to the possibility that Eve was in fact not present. And even if you want to refer to a lot of the books in the Quran that basically talk about Adam and Eve also, and I believe the creator is having me discuss this right now, because I was just talking about how the books that we study, the religions that we study, and the things that we know only go back to, maybe 6 or 7,000 years, right? But we've been here for over, 5 million years. We've been here for more than 1 million years. So there's still a lot of time that's gone unaccounted for, at least in present day, right? Even when you go to the Quran, it just discusses how there was a maid created with Adam, from the same nature and soul. And it's basically a lot of different surahs, Surah 2, Surah 7, Surah 15. But the name Eve is mentioned only in a hadith, not in the actual Quran. But that's a whole nother story, right? Because then that would be a lesson about the Quran, which I'm not in any shape or position to give, right? We're just being average scholars and going over the information that has been presented to us, and we pretty much don't have a real idea of what this is that we are studying, because we're going off of what's presented and what's directly in front of us. We don't necessarily have proof, right? I mean, even the things that are considered proof only can tell you about a small window of time. And this is not to say that any of the books, any of the stories in the books are inaccurate, right? This is just to say that, there's a lot of different situations that have not been documented. And they're saying our ancestors have been here for about 6 million years, right? Again, these books are at best 10,000 years old, and I'm throwing on a good 3,000 or 4,000 years, right? So again, that time that's been unaccounted for is a lot of history, a lot of reincarnation, a lot of different concepts and ideations and understandings that may have nothing to do with what we know, understand, and believe present day, right? A lot of people have these concepts that tarot card readings is bad, witches are psychics are witches, and we shouldn't be communicating with the dead, and all these different notions that are based on books that are fairly young. I mean, I would say that they're babies in comparison to humankind, even though we don't have any physical proof of how long we've actually been here, right? Because this is just technology and science giving us a roundabout, like a ballpark figure. It's not necessarily anything concrete. And of course, the creator didn't himself come down and say, no, you guys are about 10 million years old, right? So we don't really necessarily know. Everything is an average. Everything is an idea. Everything is just like a possibility. It's not like actual, factual. We don't have real for sure anything, right? Real for sure proof, real anything. None of this is like for sure. So I think the idea is to do as much research and learn as much as possible, because we can never learn or know too much. And I think the overall idea is to have a better understanding of history so we can have a better understanding of the future, because we're going based off of not only books that have been rewritten and translated over 50 times. We're talking about several instances of history having several laps, right? There's so many concepts that vary according to culture, geographic location, race, gender, right? We have all these different concepts, and again, none of it is proven. It's just an idea. So I think not only are we possibly looking in areas that don't necessarily correlate to anything, it's also, I mean, they correlate to something, but I'm saying there's still so much information missed, right? We have all these things that have been discussed, and nobody really has real concrete things. It's just like 80% possibility. That other 20% is a bunch of knowledge that we have no idea where it could take us, right? So before we go, I just wanted to pose the idea that no matter how much information we think we have, or no matter how much we think we're doing, or how much we know, there's always more to be learned and figured out. I mean, we're human, and there's an entire world out there that we haven't seen, that we know exists, that we haven't seen. We have no idea really what we come from. We can only go based off of what we assume, right? What we think. These are concepts, right? These are concepts that come from the idea pattern in the thought process of people who may have outdated thinking by now. I mean, at this point, especially with technology being as advanced as it is, and just the world being what it is today. Sorry, my phone rang. But yeah, the understanding that we have of life was cultivated by the concepts and ideals that we know today. So there is an entire world ahead of us, and there were multiple worlds that predate where we live in now. Even if you want to go back 6,000 years, that's just one capsule, right, of time. So the better the understanding that we come from a system that we don't know much about, I'm gonna just be encouraging everyone to just try to do more research about the galaxy, the earth, the oceans, the different animals, and how humankind has evolved into where we are and what we are today. I don't necessarily believe that we're aliens or we come from aliens, but I do believe we come from a system that is beyond our own ability to conceive the notion and just the overall understanding. But I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna end here. I do love y'all. Hope y'all are drinking your water and eating y'all fruit and vegetables and sipping on your own tea because it's free. And yes, honey, them kids that officially went back to school, right? Make sure y'all stop by October 14th, Source of Knowledge, because it's gonna be lit. Alright, we're gonna have some fun. And we are planting our own food. We done started that. But alright, love y'all. I'm out of here. Peace.